Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone. Your shortcut to, well, hopefully being well informed.
That's the goal.
Today, we're diving deep into something maybe a bit frustrating. Aging. You know how some people seem to age like I don't know, a beautiful antique?
They get better with time.
Exactly. While others,
Okay.
well, let's just say it's more like a cheap car left out in the rain.
Yeah, just rusting away. It's a good analogy, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to unpack this idea of internal rust, the villain behind that kind of accelerated aging.
Internal rust.
Yeah, it's not just about wrinkles or genetics. We think it's an element, a metal inside all of us that's literally causing corrosion.
So normally when we talk about this particular metal, iron, right, we're usually worried about deficiency, anemia.
That's a classic story, yeah. Iron deficiency anemia, big problem for many.
But you're saying the opposite.
Uh-huh.
Getting too much iron,
Yeah.
that's the real hidden danger for, like, longevity.
That's what the newer understanding points towards, yes. Accumulating too much iron over time. It looked like a major risk factor. We might have an iron villain we didn't even realize.
An iron villain.
Yep.
I like it. Okay, so if we focus so much on deficiency, why is this shift happening now?
Well, the data's building. High iron levels correlate with shorter lifespans, worse health outcomes.
Yeah.
So our mission today is really to understand why. Why does this essential metal turn destructive?
And what we can do about it, right?
Yeah.
Build up some anti-rust defenses.
Exactly, internal anti-rust.
Okay, but wait. Iron carried oxygen. We need it. So
Yeah.
why is it suddenly like radioactive waste inside our cells? What makes it so dangerous?
It's just inherently reactive.
Yeah.
Extremely reactive. Think of it like something the body has to keep under super tight control, almost like handling a live wire.
Okay.
If iron gets loose, if it's free inside the cell, it can and it will essentially rust out your organs, your tissues, your cells.
They rust them out. Okay, let's visualize that. You mentioned an analogy, hydrogen peroxide, like from the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, perfect example. You put H2O2 on a cut, right? It bubbles like crazy, kills bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Intense reaction.
That bubbling is that intense reactivity. Now, guess what? Your own body, your immune system, actually makes hydrogen peroxide
It does. Why?
to kill microbes. It's part of our defense. But here's the kicker. When that H2A2 your body makes meets free, unbound iron inside your cells, you get that same violent bubbling reaction, that same damage, but it's happening internally, microscopic level disaster.
So our own immune system makes something that turns toxic when it hits loose iron.
Mhm.
What does that reaction actually do to the cell?
They call it oxidative stress, and it's just massive. It smashes into everything fundamental. Your DNA gets damaged, cell membranes break down, and critically, it hammers your mitochondria.
The power plants.
Your cell's power plants, exactly. If they're constantly getting corroded by this iron peroxide reaction, everything starts to fail. Energy production tanks.
And if that's happening constantly, because maybe your internal antioxidant system can't keep up, you're basically pouring fuel on the fire for all the big chronic diseases.
You nailed it. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, heart disease, even cancer. So much of it links back to this uncontrolled oxidative stress, often driven by this reactive metal problem.
Wow. Okay. But the body must have ways to handle this normally, right? You mentioned an iron circus.
It does. It's incredibly sophisticated, usually. That's the iron circus, how the body tries to manage this dangerous element, how we store it, move it, and why sometimes that whole system goes completely haywire.
All right, let's talk storage. If iron's so volatile, how does the body normally keep it, locked up safe?
Okay, so most of it, maybe 70%, is bound up really tightly in hemoglobin, in your red blood cells. Let's call that the very large bowl. Its job is carrying oxygen, clear cut.
Large bowl. Got it.
Then you've got another protein, ferritin. Think of ferritin as like a teacup, much smaller container, holds maybe 10% of your iron.
A teacup. Okay.
And its job is to store iron safely inside your tissue cells, liver, spleen, brain acting like a buffer, protecting us from that dangerous free iron roaming around.
So ferritin is the safety deposit box inside the tissues. But hang on. If high ferritin on a blood test is bad, doesn't that just mean the safety box is, like, full? Lots of backup.
That's the confusing part. It can mean it's full, dangerously full. Or worse, it means the whole storage system is malfunctioning. And this is where we hit the paradox, the real aha moment from the research.
Okay.
Sometimes people can actually be anemic, low iron in their blood, tired, all the classic symptoms,
Right.
because the iron is locked up tight inside the tissues, inside that ferritin teacup, and it can't get out to make new red blood cells. Yet at the same time, they have way too much iron rusting away inside those tissues.
Wait, what? So you're deficient in your blood but overloaded in your tissues simultaneously?
Exactly. It's completely counterintuitive. You're anemic because you're overloaded in the wrong places. The iron is stuck.
That sounds incredibly inefficient, like the worst kind of internal crisis. Why would the body do that? Lock the iron away when the blood desperately needs it.
It often starts as a defense mechanism, usually tied to inflammation. See, the body knows that pathogens, bacteria, viruses, they love iron. They need it to multiply.
Oh, like fuel for the invaders.
Precisely. So if your body senses an infection or even just chronic inflammation, it triggers this lockdown. Hide the iron. Keep it away from the bad guys. So it shoves it into ferritin in the tissues.
Okay, makes sense short term.
But if that inflammatory state becomes chronic, which happens a lot in modern life, the iron stays locked down permanently. Your red blood cells that's the anemia part, and your tissues, liver, brain, heart, are now accumulating this highly reactive metal, causing continuous oxidative damage. It's what we call dysfunctional iron stagnation.
So the body's trying to hide the cookies from the monster, but it hides them so well the kids can't get them either, and the cookies go bad in the cupboard.
That's a perfect way to put it. Hilarious, but yeah, terrifyingly accurate.
Which really makes you wonder, then, about things like food fortification.
Exactly. If iron accumulation and dysfunction are such big problems, potentially driving this internal rusting, why are we still adding iron to everything? Flour, breakfast cereals, grains?
Yeah, if people are eating this stuff daily, and their bodies might already be struggling to manage iron or locking it away, are we just pouring more fuel onto that fire without realizing it?
It's a huge question, a really important one we need to be asking from a public health perspective. Could we be making things worse for a lot of people?
Definitely food for thought. Okay, so if excess iron, or maybe stuck iron, is causing all this oxidative stress, this rusting, the solution seems obvious. Some more antioxidants. But you said it's not just about, like, eating blueberries.
Right. We need to beef up our internal anti-rust network. And the antioxidants your body makes itself are exponentially more important than the ones you swallow.
More important than vitamin C or E from food.
Way more important. Think about glutathione. That's a master antioxidant your body produces. It's like the internal SWAT team leader, specifically designed to neutralize that dangerous hydrogen peroxide we talked about.
Okay, glutathione. Got it. Now, here's where it got weird in the notes. Someone exercising like crazy,
Right.
healthy, right?
Yeah.
But their tests showed high oxidative stress. How does that work? Exercise is good?
It is good, but intense exercise also generates a ton of oxidative stress. It produces a lot of that H2O2 as a byproduct of working hard. Normally, your body adapts, it gets stronger, but only if you give it the building blocks it needs to repair and actually boost that antioxidant defense system like glutathione. If you don't have the raw materials, you fall behind. You're just creating damage without the repair.
So what was the missing piece for this person?
In that specific case, it came down to needing more of the amino acid glutamine. It's a key building block for making glutathione. And the best source, the most bioavailable...
Let me guess. Not kale.
Not kale this time. Red meat.
Red meat. Okay. So protein isn't just for muscles. It's critical for running this whole internal anti-rust machinery, especially as we get older.
Absolutely critical. If you're low on quality protein, your body simply cannot build and maintain adequate antioxidant defenses. You can't fight the corrosion effectively.
That really highlights a potential challenge then for, say, vegans or vegetarians.
It really does. They often struggle with iron absorption in the first place because they miss out on heme iron, the type found in animal products, which is much easier for us to use.
Right.
So they might become deficient and need supplements. But if they also have this underlying issue of iron getting stuck or accumulating, taking iron supplements could be throwing gasoline on the fire. It's a tricky balance.
Yeah, I remember that anecdote from the foot surgeon you mentioned, seeing patients' muscles looking gray instead of pink.
Yes. A visual sign of possible anemia, or maybe more accurately, this deep iron dysfunction. The iron is there in the body, but it's locked up, unusable, not getting to the tissues properly, not oxygenating them. You can see it physically.
Wow. Okay, that paints a picture. Let's pivot then. Action time. The iron reduction toolkit.
Yeah.
If we suspect we might be dealing with this internal rusting, what can we actually do?
First step, understand the copper connection. It's crucial.
Copper. Okay, I thought iron was the enemy. Why copper?
Because copper is like the key that unlocks the iron storage unit. You need copper, specifically an enzyme that uses copper, to get iron out of ferritin storage and mobilize it. So if you have tons of iron stored away but not enough copper, the iron just sits there. It stagnates. It can't get to the red blood cells where it's needed, and it causes damage in the tissues where it's stuck. Too much iron plus not enough copper equals big problem.
Okay, so action item 1. Limit incoming iron we don't need. Avoid iron supplements unless a doctor specifically says you need them based on thorough testing. And be really mindful of those fortified foods, the breads, cereals, processed grains.
Exactly. Cut off the unnecessary supply. And action item 2, boost your copper and its helpers.
Where do we get copper?
Best food sources are things like shellfish oysters are amazing. Organ meats, yeah, beef liver again, sorry.
The powerhouse returns.
It really is. Also, sunflower seeds, good quality dark chocolate, but watch the sugar. And then you need the cofactors, too. Minerals like zinc, manganese, magnesium, selenium. Seafood is great for a lot of those.
All right, foundation set. Limit iron in, boost copper, and friends. What about specialty tools? Things that actively help remove iron?
Chelators.
Yes, chelators.
Yeah.
These are substances that basically grab onto iron and help escort it out of the body. Nature provides some good ones.
Like what?
Quercetin, found in things like onions and apples. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. Both are pretty well-known helpers.
Okay, add onions and turmeric to the shopping list.
Good plan. Then there's melatonin, surprisingly therapeutic for regulating iron.
Melatonin, like for sleep.
The very same. And here's a fun fact. One of the best ways to support your body's own melatonin production isn't just a pill, it's infrared light exposure.
Infrared? Like from the sun. Over half the sun's rays are infrared. So sensible sun exposure actually helps regulate iron.
So sunbathing is technically an iron management strategy. I love it.
Within reason, absolutely. We also have simpler things like tannins and black tea. They bind to iron in your gut and reduce absorption.
Okay, tea is easy.
Yeah.
Any heavy hitters? The most powerful chelator.
According to the research we looked at, that title probably goes to lactoferrin.
Lactoferrin. Sounds fancy.
It's pretty amazing. It's a protein your body makes, also found in milk, especially raw milk or raw cheese. Its job is to bind iron incredibly tightly.
Why so tight?
Makes it unavailable for pathogens to use, plus it helps transport iron correctly and can help pull excess iron out of cells. You can also get it as a supplement. It seems to actively reduce that harmful cellular iron load.
Wow, okay. Lactoferrin. Noted.
Ah.
Now, the last point. The temporary fix, that's also a giant clue. Donating blood.
Yes. If you're someone who donates blood and afterwards you feel amazing, like lighter, more energy, clearer head, that is a massive flashing sign that you probably had too much iron stored up. Giving blood is literally the quickest way to physically remove excess iron from your system. The relief can be profound for people overloaded.
It's temporary.
Totally temporary. It doesn't fix why you accumulated it. You still need to address the copper issue, the inflammation, the dietary sources. Use those chelators. Otherwise, you'll just fill back up again. But that feeling of relief, perfect indicator the problem was real.
Okay, this has been a lot. So wrapping this up for everyone listening, trying to navigate their own iron circuses, what's the one key takeaway? The metric to watch?
Ferritin. Next time you get blood work done, make sure they test your serum ferritin level. That's your teacup, remember. It shows how much iron is in storage.
And what's good number? Because the lab ranges are usually huge.
They are huge. Doctors often don't worry unless it's over, say, 300 ng/ml, but based on this accumulation is harmful perspective, you want that number much, much lower. Ideally, well under 100, maybe even under 50, as low as you can safely get it without becoming truly deficient in hemoglobin. High ferritin is a big red flag for potential internal rusting.
Keep ferritin low. Got it. So, final thought for everyone. If iron might literally be rusting you from the inside out, potentially shortening your healthy years, what's one small change maybe from this toolkit we discussed that you're willing to make starting today? Just something to stop the corrosion and feel maybe a little bit better than a freshly recycled red blood cell?
Good question to ponder.
Definitely. All right, think on that until our next deep dive. Thanks for tuning in.